everyone, so my name is Selena and I will be looking at how the rules are portrayed in Long Way Down. My research question consists of how do the rules function in Long Way Down and in what way do the rules challenge the cultural script? And so what is the cultural script? The cultural script defines our understandings of various events. It is how we engage in our daily lives, how we expect others to treat us, and how we expect to respond to them. And in Long Way Down, the rules are the cultural script. They are the guidelines for what we expect to happen when, there's gang violence, gun violence involved. And Jason Reynolds establishes this in the poem, The Invention of the Rules, on page 34. And he says, and the poem goes, The Invention of the Rules. Income from my brother, his friends, my dad, my uncle, the guys outside, the hustlers and shooters, and definitely not from me. So it is apparent that the inventions of the rules, they just came to be. Nobody knows where they came from, and they've just been passed down from generation to generation. As you can see, his dad, his brother, and we are told that his brother actually taught William the rules, and and he even makes a point that they don't only apply to his family, but they also apply to the everyday people that are outside, people who are victims, hustlers, people who are just trying to get by, make a living, and also not victims, the shooters, people who are actively participating in this. And on the following poem, on page 35, another thing about the rules: they weren't meant to be broken. They were meant for the broken to follow. It just further establishes the rules as being the norm, the cultural script. People who they're grieving, they're broken, they don't know what to do, they're trying to deal with their own situations, and sometimes what they know is what they fall back on when you're such in a vulnerable state, like when you lose someone. And the rules, they're just, they were meant for the broken to follow. So people are not expected to really deviate much from the rules or question why should I follow them, why should I keep all this internalized. It really goes to show how people are disconnected from their emotions and how they are encouraged to bottle them up, no crying and no snitching. They're encouraged to keep this internalized. And in the last poem, I look back at Sean, tears now pouring from his eyes as he softly snorted and hiccuped as a little kid. Tears pouring from his eyes, tears pouring from his eyes, tears pouring from his eyes. I thought you said no crying, Sean. I said, voice cracking, one of my tears bursting free, but only one, so it didn't count. No crying, no crying, no crying, no crying. In this poem, Jason Reynolds challenges the cultural script and the rules by making Sean the one to break the rules. Sean was the person who taught William the rules, and William seeing Sean break down in front of him really brings things into perspective for him, because he looked up to his brother. And I think in the following poem he still says that it's his only brother and his favorite. And I think Jason Reynolds really goes to show how even though Sean was shot and killed, he was also a victim of the rules, just as much as he was a perpetrator of the rules. And and Jason Reynolds also complicates the script further by even bringing forth questioning, how do you know that the person you're about to kill really killed Sean, and he also brought up Danny, and it really brings, like, you know how a bystander, an innocent person, a child, got caught in the crossfire. So it really brings into perspective, you know, the cultural script and what it really consists of.